Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch
I never played
It's probably the least sexy part of the work, and I don't know how to answer. No. The truth is,
I don't even know how I found out about this. I think it was on Facebook.
I posted in your group.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this gentleman posted about this vodka, and I did more research. And it's like, okay, this is pretty interesting. It's like, I never heard of a vodka like this. So I said to myself, I got to get him on. Even though I'm not a vodka drinker, unless it's in a mixed drink, it's like, I still want to learn about this because to me, it is different. And we'll get into that in a minute. But I have Billy Fanshawe on, who is can you say inventor, creator?
Founder, inventor, principal owner.
Of Lytos Vodka. And I forgot. I am joined. So I'm so used to saying joined by my lovely co-host. I can't say that.
Well, it's a little weird, yeah.
I am joined by Carmen Mirabli. He's here because he and I like different types of liquor. I'm bourbon.
There you go.
We both like
sure.
I guess.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. All right, Billy, with you, before we get into the vodka, because this started more or less in college, right?
Community college, yeah.
Okay. So I got to ask this because, all right, I didn't go to college, but even in high school and all, I mean, we were drinking beer. I guess you were drinking vodka in college?
A little bit of everything. I was drinking vodka, rum, whiskey, beer. Drank tequila once, we talked about earlier.
Right.
And didn't do much of that. But everything else was fair game. Yeah. What actually happened is I was 19 years old. I was going to Anne Arundel Community College.
Okay.
At the time, I had classes in the morning, and I had a landscaping job in the afternoon. So I shouldn't have been drinking. Obviously, I was 19, but I was. And I like to go out. And Severn Park, where I grew up, was an interesting town. There always seemed to be a lot of house parties going on there. So there was a lot going on a Tuesday, Wednesday. So ultimately I would mix either Gatorade, Powerade, Pedialyte with cheap vodka. And so I could feel better the next day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I can't say it worked really great, but I noticed it kind of helped. And I ended up writing the idea down on a piece of paper and ultimately pursued it 7 years later when I was 26, and it was a non-operational company for almost 2 years before I actually broke ground.
All right. Because most people, I mean, you hear people mixing like stuff with Red Bull, which I don't understand either. But
not good for you.
Yeah.
Not that drinking is in general.
So when you're going to college, what were you majoring in? Was it science or anything?
No. So when I was at community college, it was just, can't even really remember, to be candid.
Vodka got in the way.
Yeah. All I know is I got out on time. I got out on 2 years, and I transferred to Towson.
Okay.
Somehow got out on time there too. Have an interesting story there we could talk about. But no, actually was doing communications, and it was not relevant at all to science. I actually failed chemistry specifically, which went into my formula. I actually failed it in high school. Yeah. So
wow.
It's, it's cliche, but you put your mind to do it, to anything, you can do it. In my case, the internet was a very powerful thing.
Right.
I locked myself in my room for about 3 to 4 weeks. The time I was living with my brother in Federal Hill, researched a lot about electrolytes. I found at that time, a lot's changed in the industry since, but actually a lot of what Pedialyte Extra Care was doing, that was around 2019. To me, after my research, had the most solid formula. So I looked at a lot of what they were doing. There's also a lot of electrolytes you could use that wouldn't dissolve very well in a vodka. Not that most of the electrolytes do. It's complicated to begin with. So there was a lot that I eliminated from my selection process, and really nailed it down to about 5 that I used. And I think ultimately it was like 7 total that ended up in my patent. So I was completely self-taught on the chemistry part. which again, it just goes to show. Put your mind
But are
on
you
something.
making the vodka itself as well? I mean, you have a distillery? where you
Yeah,
make it? Okay.
so I have a co-packer. I've always had a co-packer.
What is a co-packer?
It's a manufacturer.
I knew that.
I contract out the bottling, the configuration of it, buying the label. I'll still do the procurement, make sure it all gets there okay, and they really distill it and put it all together. But what I own, specifically for my patent, is I own the formula. So I give them that formula, and then they help bring that to life. So
Billy, I'm fascinated by the business side of it. So like the entrepreneurial side of it, where just on paper, you look at the alcohol industry, it's not really like a growth engine for brand new businesses. There's nothing new there to say that I have something that's going to solve a pain point that a consumer has. So what was it that you said, I think I have something interesting here that's different than what anyone else is doing, and I think there is a niche for me?
I think it was an industry that really lacked innovation.
Yeah.
Which I kind of learned some of that was because of how it's regulated as I went on. But I know going in, I thought it lacked a lot of innovation. And I felt like my product, obviously the infusion of electrolytes that converts the product to being alkaline, that's a big selling point. The electrolyte infused in the alkaline portion, that really wasn't out there. I know for me, I really always wanted to start a business. Even my first job out of college, I was like, I was ready to start a business there. So I was very eager to do it. Getting back to your question, was it about the alcohol struggles in the alcohol industry?
Well, yeah, I sort of, but finding that niche into this industry to say, I have a product that differentiates from what someone else is doing, that I can stand out a little bit.
That's a good question. A lot of what the brands out there, it's the same thing, and it's more about the label.
Right.
Yeah. Still is about the label, but I just wanted to be able to say, hey, we're doing something different. Because really in today's marketplace, you need a twist or something unique. Like the biggest example when I go to do these tastings, I'll grab people's attention by saying it's alkaline. Yeah. Right. Nobody else, like you have another vodka that could be doing a tasting there. It's vodka. Yeah. What's there to get excited about? And I think that's a big reason why I've existed and I've lasted 5 years, is we have that unique niche. Opposed to the rest of the industry.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you see a lot of craft beers out there, but that's just it. It's like everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
You're seeing the same with bourbons. You're seeing a lot of craft bourbons, but it's like everybody's doing it.
Right.
I don't know of any other, not just vodka, but any other alcohol that has the electrolytes.
It's funny. It's like in the beer industry, the biggest, the new biggest product is the non-alcoholic beer.
Right.
So that's the differentiation in that market. So it's sort of finding that thing that's going to get you, get past that, like you said, the label. It's not just marketing. It's actually a really good product that you need to try that's different than anything else you could get.
And I think that's a big reason why we've survived, because it's a tough industry. I've seen a lot of people that have gotten into it since I've started that are not here today.
Now, how does it affect the taste, or does it?
It really does. What's interesting, well, electrolytes are salts.
Right.
For the most part. So there, in theory, should be some sort of salinity that you get. We've toyed with that a little bit. Like if you had it when we first launched, when our formula was more comparable to what you saw in a bottle of Pilate, you could really taste the salt.
Okay.
Today, we've reworked it where I would say it's more pleasant. Okay. Some people don't even notice it, but you should get that. But my biggest selling point and the most important part is it takes what's, an acidic spirit and makes it alkaline. Anything alkaline is going to be easier going down. It's going to be much more pleasant.
So you're not getting that harsh bite.
You're not getting that harsh bite that you were kind of speaking about before we got started. That's where most people know and know when it comes to vodka. Now, you could leave this bottle out in a 90-degree weather on a hot day. I mean, it's still going to really be harsh. But, if you freeze it for a little bit, put it in the fridge for a little bit, I mean, it starts to taste a lot less like vodka. I mean, it's really incredible what making an alcohol alkaline can do.
Plus, you have flavored ones as well, right?
I do not personally.
Oh, I thought you did. I
No.
thought I saw a green.
Yeah, we did. We did a post as like a joke.
Oh, okay.
And actually, a lot of people actually took it very seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, no, seriously, because after the Marine Corps, I went to, and I got my degree in, by trade, I'm a professional mixologist. Back then, there weren't flavored vodkas. You had to be creative. You had to create your different flavors.
Right.
And that's one thing that really irritated me was when I started seeing like flavored vodka and all.
It's not a category that's doing great. Yeah. The category's actually not doing too well either. Interestingly enough. Yeah, the flavored vodkas now.
There's only a few manufacturers that do.
The dominant ones are really Deep Eddies and Western and Sun.
Yeah.
I would say you're creating.
What? Those are brands?
Yeah.
I never heard of them.
Yeah. Oh, they're big. Yeah. Especially Deep Eddies. Yeah. Those are the big ones.
That's a vodka.
Yeah. Yeah. Out of Texas. Yep.
So you learn. You're not going to have to remember that. All you're going to have to do is remember Lytos.
Well, of course. Yeah. But when I see vodka, I see Smirnoff. What's the other one?
Tito's probably the big one. Yep.
Tito's, Grey Goose.
Yep.
And there was a cheap one out there. I can't. Let me rephrase that. An inexpensive one out there.
Burnett's?
Yeah, it may be Burnett's, who also makes the gin, right?
I think they do. I'm not sure, actually. It's a good question.
Yeah, I can't remember now.
So, again, I'm going back to the business side of it because it's so fascinating to me. So, what was it like to start? What was that? So you decided I'm going to give this a go. What were those biggest challenges to get it up and running?
The compliance, the regulatory piece. I say that without any hesitation. Yeah. It's not for the faint of heart, especially because we, at a time in COVID, not all those agencies were running very efficiently either. So the timelines they're working off of now are different than they were back then.
And you're working off their timeline.
So it took us, in my opinion, longer than it should have to get the product to market.
Is that because you're waiting for the patent pending?
The patent's entirely separate. That was a struggle. That was a struggle into itself. We went with the patent office almost 6 rounds of submission, but how it works maybe is educational for your listeners too. It starts with going to an agency called the TTB to submit a label. Getting that label approved for us was incredibly challenging. I don't think the agency wanted electrolytes in vodka. So the submission, I believe it was rejected 8 times.
Damn.
So ended up having to get a beverage attorney who's still part of my team today. It doesn't work for me, contractor, I should say, but I still work with him today on stuff. Got him involved and it actually got pushed through. I mean, there's certain things, so I actually cannot say on the label that the product has electrolytes. Yeah. It's salt, potassium, and phosphorus. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
What was the pushback that it might be attractive to?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
The way the agency looks at it is they see alcohol is bad, electrolytes is good, and the two are not meant to go together as a health. So on all of our filings, it's there for taste.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me a direct question, why do you put electrolytes in your vodka? I'd say it's there for taste.
I would think
no other reason.
And what's it got to say on the label? Salt, what?
Salt, potassium, and phosphorus.
I would think that would drive people away.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a headache because it came as a surprise. But then again, like I try to put myself in the consumer's shoes and I was like, I mean, I am adding those to the vodka. I should be putting it on the label to let them know that
a lot of people don't realize those are electrolytes.
Correct. Yeah. They should. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people don't.
Wow.
You turn your brain on, you think about it for a little bit, you read it, you can figure it out. But yeah, you're right. Not everyone makes that connection. So we went through the label process and then, which again was brutal and got an attorney involved. And then it shifted to Maryland. And what I needed was a Maryland wholesale license. The state of Maryland really doesn't have a category for a brand owner like me that doesn't necessarily manufacture, but doesn't necessarily wholesale.
Yeah. Because
I have a wholesaler that distributes the stuff for me. So that took about 5.5 months. I think I submitted almost 130 pages of documentation.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Probably around half of that were like paperwork I actually had to fill out. So, and this is where it's tough for sometimes a small business. I'm doing this myself, not outsourcing it to the attorney or anything. Like I'm literally going line by line. And then you're following up with the guy at the comptroller's office to please push this through. I'm trying to get my product to market.
And you were working at this time too, right?
I actually got laid off from my job.
So they actually gave you more time to be able to
actually
work on
worked
this.
out.
Yeah.
It did. It actually worked out. Gave me time to, and looking back on it, I mean, I needed it.
Yeah.
I was, some of those days I was doing paper for just 8 hours. God. So, and then the wholesale license was issued and that was it. I was off to the races. But even then you have to be very cognizant of the federal advertising regulations.
Mm-hmm.
We had some stuff early on that talking about the electrolytes and we can't do that.
That's messed up.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of makes sense.
And then the other side was on the state level, there's all kinds of trade laws for how you can market your point. Like, right, if you go and partner with a retailer on something, their logo can only be 25% of like a table tent. And again, no one's giving you a handbook on this stuff. But if you get it wrong, you get a fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was very challenging, navigating all of that. Thankfully today I have a great understanding of all that stuff, but back then it was a learning curve.
So you got the patent, you got all the compliance stuff out of the way, you're ready to roll. So what does that first step for you look like?
Well, the patent was actually just hit last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's actually, I think 12 months to the date. So that was ongoing.
Jeez.
Yeah, it takes a while. Yeah, the agencies, we're always tough. But as far as first step, it's retail. And what I did was I went to those accounts independently and sold the product in. As we talked about earlier, I had really a background in the advertising business, not this. So I didn't know what I was doing. But fortunately, a lot of those customers who are still customers today guided me in the right direction, gave me some good advice, and I listened. And, that extends to the distributor that I ended up using, which actually is not far from here. I got some great advice from the director of sales, how to sales strategy and stuff. And ultimately, I just took in some feedback.
So the scaling of that is regional first, local markets?
Yeah. So what ended up happening, I was living in Federal Hill at the time.
Yeah.
So it was getting places to carry it. I grew up in Severna Park, Pasadena area. So it was getting it there. And then that's really who carried it, the places in those areas to start. We broke out a little bit into Annapolis. My girlfriend, now wife, was in Elk Ridge. So we broke out there a little bit. And at a certain point, we're selling enough. We got picked up by a very large distributor. And, kind of the rest was history.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, because that's the other thing with this, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're a solopreneur, right? Or do you have a team on? Back then you were, but do you have a team?
Yeah, actually, I did launch it with a couple partners.
Okay.
Ended up buying out their shares. Just wasn't a good fit.
So it's just you?
Yeah. So then it was me, and so I own about 90% of the company. I own 90% of the company. And then it's my father has 9%, and one of my best friends from childhood has 1%.
So the three of you, but you're doing probably a majority of the legwork, going out to all the different places and everything.
I am. I do a lot of it. The one thing that I will say was different as I'm talking to you today than it was back then, as I've been doing it long enough where I have the relationships. It's not the same kind of burden of time as what it used to be because I have those relationships and trust. I mean, a phone call, a text.
Yeah.
A lot of my damage is now done on weekends, getting in front of customers, doing tastings and kind of that stuff. The day-to-day interactions with the customers, it's limited, not what it needed.
You set up at festivals and everything?
We have.
Okay.
Yeah, it just depends who invites us and stuff.
One of the things I have noticed is, thank God, it's allowed. Not all places do. Though is you can order alcohol online now and have it delivered. I don't know if that's something that I know I've had it delivered from out of state to my house, but is that something you're allowed to do yet? Or
it's the laws on the books are much more friendly towards wine. If you're a wine producer, you should be doing it. For spirits, the way these states are set up, they don't really like e-commerce. So it's very, you can, but it's very challenging to do.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, it only makes sense to do it if that customer is willing to buy like a case or more. Like just buying a bottle or something like that. So that's really why we haven't dipped our toe into I looked into it heavily like 2 years ago, was ready to do it. All kinds of things that go into it that it's just easier.
So what does that marketing look like? You're not doing TV or radio, it's community engagement, it's the retailers, it's sponsorships. Is that been your focus?
The challenge for us is we've paid so much in professional services from, the patent in particular.
Yeah.
It's gobbled up so much of what we would have had for the marketing. So what's really exciting about now is if I'm able to match the sales I had last year, I should have more money for marketing. So going back to what you said, it's been a lot of the tastings and community engagement, right? We talked about Curly and that kind of stuff, because that's what I can do. So it'll be interesting if I'm able to do a little bit more of that this year. But typically, what it has been and what it is now is we do tastings almost every single weekend.
And that's mainly at liquor stores, right?
At liquor stores, yes.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. I want to share something really special about a company that I not only trust, but also use and also truly admire. Freedom Federal Credit Union. Why Freedom? Because they go beyond everyday banking to really make a difference in our community. They've established the Freedom to Help Foundation, which actively supports local initiatives, making our neighborhoods stronger and more connected. Whether it's promoting financial education or backing community projects, Freedom Federal Credit Union is there, investing in our shared future. And it's not just about community programs. I trust them because they provide excellent personal and business banking services that make managing finances straightforward and secure. Their commitment to our community and their members really sets them apart. So if you're looking for a financial partner that aligns with your values and actively contributes to bettering the community, check out Freedom Federal Credit Union. Visit them today at freedomfcu.org or call 1-800-440-4120. Join me in banking where it matters. Do you go into like the restaurants and the bars?
Yeah, we have restaurants and bars. We do events there.
Okay.
I always like when I don't tell people no, they're going to bring in my product. It's not, we'll do an event.
They just got to get it through the distributor though.
Well, yeah,
if
but
they carry
the challenge there is a lot of times when you do those events, most people ask, where can I buy it at my local liquor store? Like I did one in Columbia and I met families that were from New York and like, they're looking to buy a bottle from the liquor store near their hotel.
Yeah.
So I always felt the best approach for those bars and restaurants if you get any kind of point of sale for them to agree to.
Yeah.
And we do that now. If they ask it, we have it made and we have it there.
Now, is it carried in other states?
Yes.
How is that process?
We were in DC and we're in Delaware. DC, which you may be surprised here, is so easy.
Really?
Yeah, you don't even have to do anything. Your wholesaler sends a letter and just says, "Hey, we're selling this product in DC. Thanks." That's all DC is.
Wow.
Delaware, also very easy. It's about a week. They just want to know how much product that you're moving into their state.
Right.
That's all they're really concerned about. They just want to make sure those reports match with what the wholesalers are giving them. It's very easy. Maryland tends to be more challenging. DC and Delaware are great. Very easy.
Man, not in Pennsylvania yet?
No, it's a controlled state. So the government runs the liquor stores. Yeah.
Okay. West Virginia is that way too, isn't it?
Yeah, so we are approved for West Virginia. We
Okay.
just have not launched with a wholesaler there. We do think actually it's on my target to try to do that in 2027. I'm really hoping that works out.
Nice.
Yeah, even for Pennsylvania, I always think Pittsburgh might be better too, if I were to do it.
So you've come a long way in the few years that you've been
Thank you.
operating. So, and I think there is a differentiation with your product from anything
think
else
so,
on
too.
on the market. If you got to pick where you think this is in 5 years, where do you think you're going to be?
Oh, hopefully I'm cashing out and hanging out with my kid. Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely the goal.
Yeah.
This is, especially, referencing what I was saying earlier, I've seen a lot of people go out of business getting into this. So I'm very, very blessed that I've made it 5 years.
How does that work? Do like these, with beer, like you have the craft brewers and maybe there's, you catch the attention of a larger company. Is that the same with spirits? That is the hope that like a larger company would say,
Like Heaven Hill
hey, I really like your product. You have something unique and interesting, and I want a part of this.
Yeah. I think so. It depends on the company. I think for some people that is the goal. They want to get into this and they want to cash out. I know there's some people I know in this industry. They're going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to be the next XYZ.
The same one of the largest companies. I can't think of the name. It's a Japanese company because I think they own Bacardi and all of that. But I think
Sony.
no, not Sony's. So, God, I can't think of it right now. But I think they are. If I might be wrong, but I thought they were starting to buy a lot of different, like smaller companies are offering too.
It makes sense, especially where the alcohol trends are going right now, as people are looking for more small batch, more craft, more consciously produced kind of stuff. So a lot of the big companies, if they are looking to get into something, they should be looking into stuff like that. So,
All right. So in college, you were drinking more than just vodka.
I was.
You're only putting out the vodka that has the alkaline in it because we can't say electrolytes, right?
Not supposed to. We've mentioned it a few times,
so
though. It's okay.
The good stuff in it. Any plans on doing it with anything else, whether it be gin, tequila, or Tennessee whiskey, bourbon, whatever?
My patent does cover other spirits. I think that are, or at least the continuation I filed for my patent does cover spirits that are 35% or over.
Okay.
So there could be an angle there. I'm personally not interested in doing that.
Right.
I'm focused on doing one thing and one thing very, very well.
Yeah.
Smart.
It is tempting on the ready to drink stuff. I do see that it is still growing. But that category has gone from like White Claw was really popular, then it was High Noon, and now it's Surfside. It just seems like there's rapid, maybe that needs to calm down a little bit before I dip my toe into that. But I did notice specifically for like the Surfsides, they use a better vodka to mix with the juice they're doing.
Okay.
Which is a big reason why their product's very popular. Where you look at like a High Noon, which is not using as quality, or some of these other are not using as quality vodkas in their mix. So part of me thinks if I did this in a ready to drink, it would taste really good.
Right.
'Cause you take an alkaline vodka and you're mixing it with, whatever juice you use. So it's tempting. I don't think I'll do it, but it's tempting.
I could see your vodka in a Super Bowl with the big Gatorade bucket being dumped on the coach.
The TTB would not approve of that. I would have a nice email from them Monday morning.
You mentioned something earlier we did get into about something with college, and I can't remember if you said like the crazy days or something. I forget what it was. But you said, we could talk about that later. So what the hell was that?
Oh, when
Carmen's like, uh-oh.
I think that was just more of that. This is what I was doing in college.
Oh, okay.
I was mixing it. And yeah, I mean, I was crazy guy. I was literally out all night before drinking, Gatorade, Pedialyte, and or sometimes even the Powerade, and waking up next day, going to 8 a.m. classes, and then
With
doing
a hangover.
with a mitigated one, I'd like to think. And then working at a rather intense landscaping job.
With regular vodka, the ones that doesn't have the good stuff in it like yours. Because I've always heard like the hangovers are created by sugar in the alcohol.
Yeah.
So is there sugar?
So it
in
is
vodka?
actually first, I can't legally claim that we mitigate or resolve a hangover.
Right.
We have to let customers make their own decisions.
Right.
But, you're absolutely right. It really, a lot of times if you think you go to a bar and you get that mixed drink.
Yeah.
A lot of the times what the off the gun has a lot of sugar in it.
Yeah.
So it really is driven by a lot of sugar, especially look at a lot of different cocktail recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
So it really is predominantly driven by that. But yeah, I mean, if you're smart and you do something, I feel like pickle juice, doing pickle juice. Dude, dirty. You talked about
love dirty martinis.
Yeah, martinis.
Yeah, I know.
Avoiding the sugar can go a long way.
I'll make the martinis. I don't drink.
Yeah.
I'm an old fashioned kind of guy, or bourbon neat. But yeah, martinis, no, especially with just the olive juice
Yeah.
or pickle juice. I mean, that's just disgusting, man.
Probably helpful for the next day, though.
I guess I ain't gonna try it.
That's fair.
Not at
Well,
all.
speaking of trying it, so I'm hoping that this gets people's curiosity of what it tastes like, and because it is quite different than a regular vodka. So where can someone pick up?
Harford County, we're talking about earlier, Wine World.
Right.
Wine World, they're actually the first customer in Harford County to get the 1.75 liters.
Yeah.
So they've got the big bottles if you really like the product.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have the 750s as well. They always keep a very large stock of it in, so it's a place you can always count on it being there.
Total Wine.
Total Wine does have it.
I think they have everything.
Yeah. Be a problem if I told you they didn't have it. The Wegmans properties have it.
Huh?
Yeah. Wegmans owns stores in Maryland. They just
Wegmans grocery store.
yeah.
They sell alcohol?
No, not
They
in the
do it
grocery
so
store.
it's done
Certain
they do it strategically. They put it in
Okay.
someone else's name so they can operate. Someone else is under the liquor license so they can operate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
you ever been to Hunt Valley Beer, Wine, and Spirits?
No.
That's Wegmans. It's a big store.
Okay, sort of like another grocery store
Yeah.
around here owns a local one.
Yes.
Beer Till Liquors, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think they carry our stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But all the locations are on our website.
All right, so
Yeah.
let's say somebody's having a bull roast, some kind of gala or an event or whatever, and they want to have you there to do tastings. What do they have to go through to make that happen?
Just email me.
That's it?
Yeah. My email's right on the website. Hits my inbox. I'm generally very responsive.
And what's the website?
Lytosvodka.com.
Lytos.
Ly, yes, because you said that. Lytos. And then there's a Find Lytos page, and it has the contact information right there. It has my direct email as well as our company email.
And it lists a place where you can find it as
lists
well,
the
right?
place you can find it. Yeah.
Recipes on there as well?
There is a recipe page as well.
Okay.
Does have that pickle one on there.
All right.
That won't be for you, though.
All right, Billy, I got to ask you.
You got to
this.
try it, Rich.
I got to
You
ask
just
you
gotta
this
try
then.
it.
With your own vodka, what is your favorite recipe?
I like it in a pickle shot.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I do. I like it with a Chesapeake Bay seasoning rim.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's good.
Ooh.
That would be my favorite.
He got your attention now with
it really.
Well, I mean, I like Bloody Marys.
That's a recommendation as well, because the electrolytes are salts, so this all makes sense. The other thing, which is probably what I market the most at my samplings, is the wife of salt, potassium, and phosphorus is citric acid. That Gatorade bottle that you have right there, citric acid is listed. Helps neutralize the pH, but it really helps the vodka disappear. Like if you try my stuff in a lemonade, really anything fruit-based, it totally disappears. So
Old Bay, Lytos Vodka, and lemonade.
Could do that.
That could be a good drink.
Could be.
You should report back after you try a bunch of drinks, Rich.
I'll give it a shot. I'm going to have to head to Wine World and get a bottle.
There you go.
I mean, we got some.
Tell them you know me when you get it too. Tell them you know me.
Hopefully, we got some warm weather coming up to where I can do my outside barbecues and drinks and our happy hours.
Going to be 70 this weekend.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Can
For
do it
those
on
of you listening,
Saturday.
we're recording this on what is today? March 2nd.
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
March
yeah,
2nd.
March 2nd.
All right, so Carmen, what's your favorite vodka drink?
I like a dirty martini.
That's with olive juice, right?
It's a lot of olive juice. A lot of olive juice, yeah.
A lot of olive joy.
Or Joyce. My wife's got me into espresso martinis.
Those
They're
are
good as
good.
well. Yeah.
Those are pretty good. See, now, the other day I told you I made the girls a brownie espresso martini. They said it was good. I didn't try it.
Got to try it with Lytos now.
Because you're not a vodka guy. That's okay.
Well, no, I'll drink a martini. I'll drink a martini because when you make them, you got to test them.
That's true.
Just like a
Right.
chef, you got to
That's
test.
true.
You got to test what you're drinking. I just can't do it straight.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try yours straight.
What you should do, put my vodka in your freezer for 30 minutes and try it straight.
Interesting.
Email, text, call with feedback.
Neat. Not over ice or anything.
Put it in the freezer for half an hour. Yeah. And try it.
Ooh.
Very, very, very confident that you will like it.
I'm going to have to try it.
I'm going to try that as well.
Yeah. Carmen, you have anything else before I get to my last question?
I don't think so. I mean, I went into this conversation not knowing how you really differentiate yourself from. I mean, it's such an overcrowded industry,
Really
but I
is.
think you really nailed it. I mean, you found something specific that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's your interest is not trying to, find other spirits to do this. It's doing one and doing it better than
Right.
everybody else. So
Right.
I think that's
Keep
great.
that niche. Yeah.
So this isn't my last question, but two-part question. What's the next big thing for Billy Fanshawe, and then what's the next big thing for Lytos?
Next big thing for me, I guess they're kind of two of the same, right? Lytos
Could be,
and myself. Yeah. For me, what I really want to do is, now that I feel like I'm potentially going to have cash flow freed up this year, is hopefully the take-home pay from the company. This is finally the year it hits. That's really my goal. What we really want to do the next step at Lytos is we want to develop the people that have our product and grow them. Getting into new spots is great. There'll always be a place and be an importance for that. But I have found so much success in working with the same retailers and building them up as much as possible.
Yeah.
Whether that's giving them a sign, giving them a shelf talker, working on where it is on the shelf, and then doing not samplings everywhere, but consistently at the same spot, so those customers know you, know that you're in their community. So for me, it's really driving velocity. We produced over 7,000 bottles this year. I want to get to at least 10,000, mainly at the same places that I've been working with, and just growing them.
I mean, that's really the value too, right? Is finding those perfect retail partners that, they're getting something because you're providing them a great product that their consumers want, and they're helping you out because they're helping get the word out about your product.
Right.
So,
And I mean, not everyone who, is in this business is going to church on Sundays like us. So you have to be particular on who you work with.
Yeah.
And I think what I've been doing it long enough, I know who those people are that have really looked out for me.
That's great.
And it's just doubling down and continuing to work and try to grow the business as much as you can through their stores.
And you've only been doing it for what, 5 years?
Just past my 5 years. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they say what, 3 years before you start seeing a profit?
Yeah, sometimes
But
it's longer than
you-
that. Yeah, I mean,
and you started during COVID.
So actually, we're fortunate enough. We've been profitable since 2022. So we're profitable within a year of operations.
that's good.
For me, it's more about, can I earn a little bit more doing
Right.
this? And,
you will.
and that's really the goal for this year.
I have a funny feeling this year it's going to blow up.
Thank you.
I'm serious. I just do. I think when
right after this podcast airs.
There we go.
I think before it airs, be honest with your car. Well, hopefully it does. You know what? This is in over 125 different countries. You might have somebody from Russia calling
There you go.
say, "Hey, we like your vodka. Send it over here. It's
There you
better."
go.
That's a bad Russian accent.
That was
wasn't
pretty bad. That was terrible. That was terrible.
We were actually fortunate enough last year. We got a lot of press when the patent hit. Had a few national publications.
Oh, nice.
A lot of the almost all the local places picked up on it. And that was a big help. Got a huge boost from that.
I mentioned before we started recording about, I think it's in San Francisco, the big spirits competition every year. I don't know if, I would think they put vodka in it.
Yeah, they
Have
do.
you thought about entering into that?
Yeah, I have looked at those. The challenge in my experience, I don't think the industry would appreciate me saying this, is a lot of times it's like pay to play.
Oh, so it's like the Grammys and all the, a majority of the awards
Yeah,
things.
like they're charging you to be there. They're charging you extra to get an award. However, people do seem to respond to it pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm almost been against it because I'm just like, no, I don't really need to pay to just get an award just to say this is great.
You already know you're the best.
Try it. Just try it, and you make that decision. Yeah.
That's what I'll talk about that afterwards. I don't want to get in trouble. Say something. All right, so pick a number between 1 and 100.
7.
Why do people always go with low numbers, man? God. No. That's been asked before. Ask a different one.
99.
Wait a minute. How? Oh, damn. Okay. Nobody's ever asked that one before.
There we go.
Now I got 599. Okay. Kind of works with what we were talking about. If you could invent something that would make daily life easier, what would it be? And you cannot say Lytos.
It's Lytos Vodka. It's
That
Lytos
probably would have been the answer. If I could invent something that would make daily life easier. Oh, geez, that's a tough one on the spot. I'm not sure I have a good answer for you, other than my own product. Trying to think of something that's inconvenienced me lately. I'm not sure.
Heated sidewalks and streets.
Heated
To melt the
sidewalks.
snow right away.
Actually, you know what? That's a good one. That's one I thought. I think they have it in Canada in upstate New York is the snow melters. Drives me crazy that we still have snow, that I can still see snow. We just need those snow melters.
There's some, I forget, it might be even up there, but they have like the bridges are heated. So if they get snow or ice, it's like gone.
I mean, we get snow down here. It's not like we're in Tennessee or South Carolina or even Florida. So like we get snow.
Yeah.
I just we really shut stuff down for that week here.
Yeah, we shut stuff down if they hear snowflake.
Yeah.
Well, Billy, I want to thank you so much. And like I said, this is going to be your best year as so far, and then every year is just going to get better.
I hope so.
Carmen, always great.
Good to see you, Rich. Thank you.
I owe you a bottle of Lytos Vodka.
That would be nice. That'd be great.
I got you covered. Don't worry about it.
I was going to buy my own, but yeah, I'll take a free one.
Well, you
from
can still buy one, and then by the time I finally get to Wine World, I'll get you one.
Okay.
What a conversation. Billy's story is one of those reminders that innovation doesn't always come from a lab or a textbook. Sometimes it comes from real life experience, late nights, early mornings, and just refusing to let go of an idea. And what really stands out to me is this. He didn't try to reinvent everything. He focused on doing one thing and doing it better. That's something every entrepreneur, every creator, and honestly, every one of us can learn from. Lytos Vodka isn't just another label sitting on a shelf. It's different. It's intentional. And it's built from persistence, trial, and error, and a whole lot of belief and vision. So if you're curious, and I know a lot of you are, go check it out. Head over to Lytos Vodka, and that's Lytos vodka.com. Find a location near you and give it a try. And if you're feeling adventurous, here's one you've got to test out. A lot of you know I love a good old-fashioned, and I love to experiment with them. So, of course, I did. Here's a recipe for a Lytos Vodka old-fashioned. Very simple. Put a clear 2-inch ice cube. That's very important because, as we know, every good old-fashioned should have a 2-inch clear ice cube. Put it in a rocks glass and set it to the side. Now, in a mixing glass, combine the following. 2 ounces of Lytos Vodka, 1/4 ounce of simple syrup, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 dash of orange bitters. Add ice to the mixing glass and stir for about 15 seconds to chill and slightly dilute it. Now, strain it into your rocks glass over that beautiful clear ice cube. Take an orange peel and twist it over glass, rub the rim with it, and drop it in and enjoy it. Now that right there, that's a refreshing drink. And I want to hear from you. When you try it, or if you come up with your own creation, reach out to me, message me, comment, whatever works for you. What's your favorite recipe using Lytos Vodka? Let's get that conversation going. Thanks again to Carmen for co-hosting and Billy for coming on and sharing his journey. And as always, thank you for listening, supporting, and being part of this community. Until next time, enjoy that beverage and keep the conversations going.